Folks at home, welcome back to the backyard bass pond, and it is that time of year whenever the pond goes from looking like this to looking like this. And we had our first freeze come through this past week, killed off most of our plant life, and unfortunately that is the time of year that the blue herons migrate down south, and it makes it a lot easier for these guys to hunt our fish. So I was taking the dog Milo out this morning and I saw the blue heron again. It looks a lot like the blue heron that came in last year. So now it is time to go take a look at our security cameras. I've got one there that looks over the pond, and I've also got some underwater cameras, and let's see if he got any fish. Alright, so the heron flies in to the left of the screen on November 26th at 5:48 in the morning. And one thing I really want you to pay attention to is how stealthy these birds are. They don't move really fast up to the pond. They can sit in one spot dead still for 45 minutes to an hour. And if this bird is anything like the one last year, they like getting on the rock right here that sticks out in the center of the pond, and they'll make sure to sneak up to it, especially that first time coming in. And it looks like that's what this one's going to be doing. So I'll be fast forwarding some of the time whenever they start moving really slow. But it looks like he's out here on that perch right now, and that is a really popular spot that he's looking at right there under those lily pads. We have a lot of fish that hang out right there in that one area, and it's only about 1.5 feet deep, and it looks like he has his eyes set on a fish right now. That is unbelievable. It doesn't look like he got a fish. Let's look at the underwater camera. So this is our pet crappie outlaw right here that he was attempting to eat. Man, that is unbelievable how fast that bird was. But it looks like he got away. Let's watch it in slow motion. Yep. I can definitely see that outlaw swam away. I'm not sure if he's still alive. Let's watch it one more time. But now let's break it down frame by frame, because this camera's not an HD camera. You can't see really good with all the algae. So in this first shot, look at how sharp his beak is and how pinpoint accurate that heron is. It looks like Outlaw is a dead fish at this moment. And I think this is where he made his mistake. Right before he got to Outlaw, he opened his mouth as to grab the fish rather than stab him. Sometimes they'll just stab the fish and bring them out of the water and then adjust them and eat them. But it looks like he tried to open his mouth and go in. Now here on the next frame, you can see that he has his mouth open and around Outlaw, but Outlaw was just so fast to get out of it. And that may be the only thing that saved his life. Man, that was intense. Alright, now let's look at it from a different camera angle. So here, you can see this is our pet bass, Bonnie. And she reacts instantly. As soon as the heron hits the water, you can tell she shoots off, doesn't really know what's happening. Oh, and then you can see Outlaw come in and loop back around. So they both go into this cave that sits down there in the deepest part of the pond. And it's unreal how much you can learn about how fast these fish can react, how fast the birds are. And nature truly is unbelievable. Alright, but let's see what happens and who he stalks next. So the one really good thing about the herons in this backyard pond is they think that there's fish up the stream like there would naturally be out in the wild. But the one last year would spend at least half of his time hunting through the waterfall area and the stream area thinking that there may be fish there. But lucky for us, no fish here. So we're just going to fast forward as he hunts through the stream area. But I had a lot of people comment and tell me last year that a blue heron will never forget a pond. If they ever find a pond that actually has fish in it, they'll return every year. So this bird may migrate south every year and then go back up north during the summer. And I was hoping that we would never have to see him again, but unfortunately it holds true that herons really are that smart. And one other crazy fact about a blue heron that I learned last year, I've done a lot of reading and watching videos, is that the bird will actually regurgitate food into the water to get fish to come up so he can eat them. That is just next level hunting right there. And we're definitely going to have to add some extra protection for these fish. So now it looks like he's making his way back down to the deep end of the pond where Bonnie and Outlaw are hanging out. And for some reason he flies over the pond. I guess he just knew he wasn't going to have a good stalking advantage from that high up. Alright, I think he's blown his hunt at this point. We're at about 6:30, so he's been out there for close to 45 minutes, working his way back up to the top of the waterfall, and I think this is around the time that me and Milo come out into the yard. So as for this morning, I'm still not sure if Outlaw's alive or if he got hurt or injured during that, but it looks like he didn't get any of the bass. Yep, it is, and you can see him fly off right there. Hey, look, we got Ranger out. He's down there hunting some minnows. We got Milo over here taking a drink out of the pond, but what we're going to do, we got a few steps that we can do to hopefully prevent the heron from coming back. The first thing is we're going to turn on our water sprinkler. In case you missed it last year, this is what it does. We'll test it on Milo again here shortly. The second thing we're going to do is put the big 6-foot snowman up there on the hill. He kind of sways back and forth, and that makes it look like there's a lot of activity going on, which will also keep them from coming. And then over the Thanksgiving holidays, we may be out of town, so we might end up putting a net over this section and this section right here, so he can't really get in here to them. Now, one last thing we're going to do to prevent that heron from eating our fish snacks is to put 1,000 new baby golden shiners in there, so he can have baby snacks instead of our big fish snacks. That's a bunch of shiners. Feeding time. Although they'll probably be scared to come out because of the heron, but we're going to drop them in. What do you think about that? That's the last of them. Alright, we just got the big 9-foot snowman out. And just like that, he came to life. Alright, I got the sprinkler turned on. We're going to get down here, crouch down low, pretend to be a heron, see if it works. Should be going off right now. Yep. There we go. Alright, here we go. Milo said I'm out of here. Ain't nobody got time for that. Alright, I just put in a wire mesh netting. I'm not even sure you're going to be able to see it on camera. But that's it. I got one good strip going across and then one going up that direction. So it's not bulletproof, but it should definitely slow him down. And one other thing I added is this Christmas laser light. It shoots green and red lasers out here kind of in a wild pattern. I feel like birds definitely wouldn't like that. Now, since this blue heron attack was exactly a year ago, I decided it'd be a good time to do a comparison of what Moby looked like a year ago and what he looks like today. So let's check out a feeding from the blue heron video from last year. Over here, waiting on Liz to come through. He's gonna bite her fingers, watch. Liz doesn't know that Moby's a finger biter. He said, give me a shot at that blue heron. He won't come after me again. I don't know, Moby. I think he might have could have eaten you whole. Alright, Liz is gonna drop him in. Sheriff, you're too slow, buddy. Gosh. He almost took my finger off. He was a little bit smaller, but just as aggressive. Now let's look at a feeding from a couple weeks ago. He's definitely gained the weight and put on those shad pounds. Alright, time to let the big dog eat. Got him. Really sizing them up. Boom, got him. That's one mean largemouth right there. Alright folks, the good news is the blue heron has not returned for about a week. The bad news is we have also not seen our pet crappie outlaws. So if you guys could do me a favor, go on our other channel, BamaBass Pond, from time to time and check in, especially around dark. That's when Outlaw usually comes out. But you can watch these underwater cameras, and if you ever see him again, leave a comment and let us know that he's still alive. We're worried about the little guy. Well folks, that's going to wrap up this video. Hope you all enjoyed it, and we will see you all next time.
We're pretty looking people, but I can tell you people they were the devil's children.